It's James here. As you can see, I just got my haircut. I'm feeling good today. I was just at my girlfriend's house a few minutes ago and stuff like that. So everything good with that. But today's video is going to be on FTM passing tips, how I pass. Currently got my binder on. So here we go. Um, Things that I do to pass as a male. Not a lot of stuff I gotta do, obviously, like I told you before, because I already look masculine. But um, one thing I try to do is deepen my voice. Because one thing is, that when people or males are on testosterone, usually their voices get lower or they drop to a bass tone. So their voices are pretty deep. So, I try to, imitate them, and it's gonna hurt you if you don't do it the correct way. So don't just, oh yeah, blah blah blah, because that starts to hurt after a while. It's kind of just like taking a step down each measure, taking a step down each measure. You know what I mean? Like practicing your voice like that. But and still, I kind of just go variety. Whoever I'm talking to, I kind of just wing it. But yeah, that's one tip. I deepen my voice. The next thing to pass I do is I wear a binder, as you can see. My chest is pretty flat, so if you can see, it doesn't even look like I have boobs, but I do. Um, my chest is pretty flat already, so I don't really got to do a lot much. But my binder makes me feel, a little bit more flat chested. Makes me feel a little bit more better about myself. Releases the tension of dysphoria. Don't really have um problems with it. Sometimes it hurts, but I'd rather wear it than not wear it because I feel really dysphoric when I don't have it on. So that's the next step of how I pass. Or there's another thing that you can do to pass if you don't have a binder yet is wear like oversized shirts. I know that works because I'm always wearing oversized shirts, but I don't know. Oversized shirts, male shirts, particularly. Right now I'm wearing a V-line, which this is a male's guy, so it's not really gonna show anything. But if your parents don't really let you wear girls' clothes yet, I mean, guys' clothes yet, then it's kind of gonna be like weird because girl shirts are a little bit more tighter. Their V is a little bit more down lengthy. You know what I mean? So depends on your your dress code and how you dress and everything like that. But yeah, binder's really good, and extra like baggy clothes are good too. If you want to hide your chest. So those are my passing tips. The third one I do is I get my haircut. Haircuts are very important, I feel, because they're just not okay. They're just not a normal haircut. So my previous video you can go see. I didn't have my haircut yet, and it was kind of like my face was a little more pudgy, not really like defined, blah 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 blah. They didn't really show my figures and everything like that. So I got my haircut. Um, and see, I got it like a male would, you know what I mean? Like I got it shaped up, boxed, squared. Got my eyebrows did, done. I'm playing. With the two things, you don't gotta get your eyebrows done. I just particularly like that. I got a little design over here. Got my pointed long, in the back, just a square, not too much. And just curled on the top. It's not something simple, but I'm African, and a lot of people have different textured hairs, and I know a lot of African people have different textured hair, so and different facial structures. So my haircut probably wouldn't look good on you because it's made for me. You know what I mean? I know how I want to get my hair cut. I know what to say and what to do. Usually I get a 1.5 on the sides, depending on how long my hair is. Sometimes two. Get it cut short on the top a little bit, but not too much. I don't get my hair faded only because I don't know. I don't really get my hair faded. Um, and that's about it. And just tell them how you want it to be cleaned up, because sometimes they do a circle on top, and blah blah blah. I don't really like that. So yeah, haircut. That's the third one. Haircut is a very important step. Um, the next thing is I would say your clothing. Clothing is very important. I understand that some people are not out yet, and I understand that some people, are not comfortable with people seeing them in that direction. But a way to pass, I know that the first thing I started with is my clothing, because clothing is a very, gender role thing. You dress like this and they consider you a girl. Like that's how girls should dress. Or you dress like this and that's how boys should dress. So make sure like you got the clothes you want or ask your family or friends to get you those kind of clothes. Plus Christmas is coming, so that's kind of easier, to get what you want a little bit more. Um Baggies, sweatshirts, um, you know, guys, pants and stuff like that. Boxers. Um, what else? What else do I get? Guys' shoes. I understand that. Some people don't got big feet. I have pretty big feet, so I can fit into guys' shoes. Um, which isn't a problem. But just a lot of guy things. Like belts. You know what I mean? Because especially guys' clothes come in bigger sizes, so you really need to know what size you are. I'm a 29/30 in pants and a medium to small in shirts, sometimes a large, depending on what shirt it is. It takes you a long time to figure out what you are because guys' clothes varies plus shoes. So you might be a 7 in girls and be a 6.5 in men. You know what I mean? It just all depends on everything like that. Because I know I'm a 10 in women's, but I'll go to the guy section and I'm 9.5. So it all depends on you and your figure and everything like that. So that's the fourth tip. Um, which is clothing. Clothing is very important. The fifth way I pass, which nobody really sees because people don't really look down there, and I don't want them to look down there. But just for me, the way I feel like I pass is a Packer. I know Packers are the most difficulties I feel to buy because you're insecure about it. You don't want people to see them. Um, your family might not like the idea of it. Your family might not be even accepting of it, and it might be too expensive, which is the cost. But there's ways to get it. So I got mine on Rodeoh. Um, the whole thing costed about $36 because I got the underwear and then I got the Packer. I got the Mr. Limpy. I think it was 3.5 inch. That's it. I don't want nothing big because I'm just starting. And that's another thing. If you're gonna get a Packer, make sure you get the smallest one you can get or which one you think you might want. Don't try to go bigger if you have never used a Packer one because if it's gonna feel weird, it's gonna bounce around, it's gonna do its thing. So you're gonna have to really know like what you're doing. And if you don't really know what you're doing, go safe and stick with the small one. I'm telling you, the small might look small in the picture, but it's gonna be bigger in person, and there's still gonna be a bulge there. So don't worry. But yeah, that's my fifth way of passing. I feel like that's really good. The sixth way of passing, I feel, change your name, change your pronouns, change everything if that's what you want. My pronouns are he, him, his. Preferably because I want to identify as a male. I feel like I'm male, blah blah blah. So change your name. Changing your name is very important. That's like the number one step if you want to be trans or if you are trans. My name is James Dakota White. It took me a really long time to figure out what name I wanted to do because I never really, thought of names before. So it was kind of like difficult for me. But that's another way to pass. Because if you have a very feminine name, like I had a very feminine name, I'm not going to say it right now because that's not my name. But, change your name. I didn't get my name changed legally yet, but I am going to get my name changed legally. And all my teachers know to call me James and my guidance counselors and everything. My school is very accepting, but that's another thing. If you're in school and you really want to change your name and your school's not accepting, I don't really know because my school is very accepting, but just tell them and make sure they know. I know it's going to be a little scary, but if you really want it to change, you're going to have to say something about it. I had to go individually and tell all my teachers and then my guidance counselor, and I don't use the men's or the girls' bathroom. So I use the gender neutral bathroom across my school. So they gave me a key to that and everything like that. So my school is very accepting, but that's not for everybody. But communication is key, guys. You really want to tell people about it, like especially adults, because if you really want your name to change and